Alright. The name is Dale, doing the movie reviews for Vice, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Bumblebee, and Aquaman. These reviews are done on behalf of Audio Liquor Magazine. I am very late with my Bumblebee and Aquaman review. I caught those two movies a few weeks ago, but with the holidays and life itself, I'm just getting around to doing a review for both of those flicks. I'm also late actually catching and seeing Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Just caught it recently. Wanted to know what was all the fuss and hype was about dealing with this flick, but I'm going to start off with Vice. This movie is about the life story of Dick Cheney and how he rose up in the ranks of politics and how he quietly wielded power as vice president under George W. Bush Jr., the son. He basically reshaped the country in ways we still feel today. He's very influential on how politics are conducted, if you ask me, and not in a positive way. This movie is directed by Adam McKay. He's done movies like The Big Short, which I highly recommend if you haven't seen it. It's a very smart movie, heavy in dialogue. It's not for everybody, but I really appreciate it. I learned a lot about the housing crisis and the financial turmoil we went through during that time and what caused it and the ramifications of that and how it even came about. Adam McKay was basically known for doing straight comedies. Now he's making these smart political satire / drama movies now. He was known for doing movies like Step Brothers, which was very funny, one of my favorite comedies. The Anchorman, which some people consider a classic comedy. With this movie, Vice, he makes a very unconventional bioflick. It kind of reminds me of the way Oliver Stone bioflicks are constructed, but is even more unconventional than his movies. Very stellar cast. You got Christian Bale playing Dick Cheney. You got Amy Adams playing his wife, Dick Cheney's wife. You got Steve Carell playing Donald Rumsfeld. You got Sam Rockwell playing George W. Bush. And he does a good job. I wish he had more scenes in it, but he knocks it out the park. You got Tyler Perry playing Colin Powell. The movie was surprisingly very funny, but it makes you think. I learned a few things, even though I knew Dick Cheney was basically the puppet master pulling most of the strings within the White House and the one that was basically running the White House. I still learned some things that I didn't know. It highlights the things that I already knew, and it goes in detail about certain situations. Not going to spoil anything. It's a very good movie, but this movie is not for everybody. It's kind of long, which I didn't have a problem with, but I think some people will. But I still will give it a strong B+. And now I'm going to go into the review of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's an animation film about a half-black and I believe Dominican teenager named Miles Morales. I'm not too familiar with the comic book character of Miles Morales. You can basically call him the Black Spider-Man. I believe he came about after I stopped collecting comic books. So I'm aware of him. I was aware of him before this movie was made, but I don't have a lot of information on him. But anyway, Miles Morales becomes his version of Spider-Man, and he crosses paths with like 5 counterparts, or all different versions of Spider-Man or Spider character in some way. And that's through these dimensions that happen to collide, and they have to come together to stop the villain Kingpin. This film, it received a lot of love and a lot of hype. Critics and certain people I heard saying this was the best Spider-Man movie ever made, even better than the live action one. Some were even saying this was the best comic book movie of the year, even better than Infinity War and Black Panther. I don't think none of that's true. I liked the movie, I didn't love it. This is not the best Spider-Man movie. This is not better than Spider-Man Homecoming. I don't know if it's even better than some of the past Spider-Man movies that Tobey Maguire did, or I don't even know if it's better than Amazing Spider-Man. It's definitely not as good as Infinity War. I think you got to be smoking something to think this movie is better than Infinity War, but it's all subjective. I just don't get it. It's an entertaining movie, it's a funny movie, but it's not that good to me. I like it. Like I said, I didn't love it. I thought the best aspect of it was the animation style. I like how they did the animation. It feels like a comic book coming to life. I really like the format and how they actually did the animation itself. You have a great cast of people doing the voices for these different characters. You have Shamik Moore, I believe that's his name. He did the voice of Miles Morales. He was the lead in Dope. He played in that Netflix series that got canceled. I believe it was 2 seasons after it got canceled, called The Get Down. You got Jack Johnson doing the voice of Peter Parker, better known as Spider-Man, the Spider-Man that most people know. Who else you have? I forgot who else. You got Haley Steinfeld. She does the voice of Spider-Gwen. You have, who else? Brian Tyree Henry, he's doing the voice of Miles' father. You got Lily Tomlin doing the voice of Aunt May. You got Zoe Kravitz doing the voice of Mary Jane. Nicolas Cage doing the voice of Spider Noir. Who else? It has some other folks in there I can't remember off the top of my head. But I would give this movie a B-. I thought it was good, but not nearly as good as people was making it out to be. But I think the kids will like it. I think the kids will really enjoy it. Alright, we're going to move on to Bumblebee. I really didn't understand why they were making a spin-off solo Bumblebee movie. I was like, for what? Why? I really thought they was reaching. I really didn't see the point when I heard they was actually making this film about 1.5 years ago. But when I actually saw the trailer, I was very impressed. I was like, oh, that looked like something I might want to go to the theater to actually go see. And I have not liked the past Transformer movies. I thought they was just garbage. The first one was okay, but the rest of them, Now I have to admit, I didn't actually see the Transformer film that came out before this Bumblebee movie, and I believe it was called The Last Night, but I hear nothing but bad things about it. The critics nor did your regular movie fans enjoy that movie. It was bad on all levels from what I hear. And I saw bits and pieces of the Transformer movie before that. But I believe it's been like 5 of them. But like 2 and 3, I did not like it. And this Bumblebee solo film was set in 1987. Bumblebee finds refuge in a junkyard on Earth in a small California beach town where this 18-year-old girl named Charlie discovers the battle-scarred, broken down Bumblebee who's sort of on his last leg in hiding from the Decepticons. I really liked the interaction between Bumblebee and Charlie, who's played by Haley Steinfeld, and it kind of reminded me of Iron Giant movies like Iron Giant and E.T. Haley Steinfeld, she's been putting in work lately. She does the voice of Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen in Into the Spider-Verse. She played in another movie that I really enjoyed, that I was pleasantly surprised by, called The Edge of 17. She was in the remake of True Grit. You got John Cena in this movie. I really didn't like his character. It made him appear to be a bad actor, and I don't think that's on his acting skills. I just thought it was what they gave him. I thought the script and the character that he was playing was one note. It was terrible. It brought down the movie. I think this movie could have been better served if that character was stronger. You got Angela Bassett actually doing one of the voices for one of the Decepticons. This movie is not directed by Michael Bay. He's done the past Transformer movies. I believe this Bumblebee solo film was done by Travis Knight, who did this animation film. I think he's known for doing this animation film called The Two Strings. I forgot the exact title of it. I never actually seen it before. But Michael Bay, even though he's been killed about these Transformer films, he does good work outside of the Transformer franchise. He's done good movies like 13 Hours, Pain and Gain, both of the Bad Boy films, The Rock. So I'm not totally gonna trash him like other people have for making these Transformer movies, but they needed a break from him. So I'm kind of glad they gave the reins to Travis Knight. The special effects are pretty cool. The fight scenes were pretty solid. I could actually tell what was going on. I could actually follow the action and the fighting, which I really had a problem with in the Transformer films. It's like I couldn't really tell who was who and what was going on when they was actually fighting at times, and many times. It had some good jokes. Some of the jokes didn't land, but it had some nice humorous moments. I think this is the best Transformer film, and that's not really saying much outside of the old animation Transformer movie that came out like the late 80s, early 90s. That's still top dog, but this is the best one out of the batch that's been made lately, out the last 10 years. I give it a B-, but I think the kids will really love this movie. I'm pretty sure my cousin Jalen would enjoy this movie. He loves those Transformer films, so I think he would like it. I think this is more geared toward kids, of course, but grown-ups could enjoy this movie too. It's not that kid friendly, but nonetheless, it's a solid movie. Now I'm going to move on to Aquaman. I have to say off the top, I did not really like this movie. The best thing I can say about Aquaman, it was watchable. I thought some of the acting was bad. I thought some of the characters were just basically one note. It just seemed like a cheap imitation ripoff of a Marvel film. I guess DC Cinematic Universe are trying to get away from the dark and grim and serious comic book films and trying to get more into the fun, entertaining with jokes. And it had a lot of jokes in it. Most of them weren't funny to me. The action was just okay. And it was just like a CGI freak fest. It was just an overload of CGI towards the end with the big battle. I couldn't tell what was really going on at times. Jason Momoa is cool as Aquaman. I give them props for casting him as Aquaman, because in the comic books and in the cartoons, he was a blonde white guy. So I give him props for switching it up some. But Aquaman made a lot of money, and even after the film was over in the theater I was in, some people clapped. So what do I know? I think this is a very divided movie. You either love it or hate it. It seems that way. It seems like there's no in between with it. Overall, I just didn't think it was a good movie. I'd give it a C-. And there you have it. I'm done. I'm finished. There you go.